Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Ballmeister.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. Preview season is over. Are we after release? The technically release was last Friday. That's why we got to play online.
Yeah, release was on Thursday on Arena and Friday on Magic Online. And then they had their kind of pre-releases. This would have been our pre-release if anybody, could go out to local game stores and stuff this last weekend.
So that was still technically the pre-release. So the paper release, although, nobody's playing paper, hopefully.
Yeah.
Is Friday?
Yeah, I would think it's
Well,
Friday.
I mean, you could pick up your boxes you pre-ordered and everything last Friday. So it's like release.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
release
think
and
pre-release
pre-release
is
are
the
just
new
the same thing now.
Yeah, I think so.
The terminology, it's so different from how it used to be that
Exactly.
I know when things happen, but I don't know what the things are called.
But we can't really complain with them giving us access to just play new cards even earlier. So you gotta love that.
Yeah,
gotta love that.
But importantly, this weekend is going to be the first weekend of tournaments with Core Set 2021. Yep. I know we have an online championship qualifier for the SCG Tour Online that both you and I will be playing in.
Oh, yeah.
So this will be our
and
first
most
taste
of Team BCW as well. We're coming back.
So that'll be our first taste of Core Set 2021 Standard. So that's going to be our focus for today. There's been a lot of it played over the last 4 or 5 days.
Yep.
A lot of, talk on social media about what decks are performing and which decks are, or cards or decks.
So far, every deck is doing insanely good. There's like 11 tier 1 decks. If you only look at Twitter, there are 11 broken decks and nothing's bad. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Is that your experience? Yeah.
Pretty accurate. and we have 6 of those 11 today.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We couldn't cover everything.
Yeah. These are the S tier decks. We have the tier 1 decks we couldn't quite play. So, yeah, brutal. But.
Yeah. So we are going to be starting with Simic Flash on my side. There was actually a Channel Fireball tournament last weekend. This deck took second in, I believe.
Okay. What kind of event are they?
They called it like the CFB Pro event.
Oh, yep.
The winner got to play a match against Reed Duke after the tournament.
Yeah, they've been doing those all the time.
All the top 8 got their prizes doubled.
Yeah.
I think Reed won those. So.
Reed did win. Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea, I have to say. You got to fight your way through tournaments and then play an end boss. That's one of the writers.
You're not playing just to double your own prize. It's literally for everybody else.
Yeah.
Now that person just has 7 people mad at them.
Yes. Or you're making it rain on 7 people, I guess. But that deck's popped up, and then I have been seeing it on the ladder a ton. I've been playing a decent amount. I've been still hooked on my Azorius Flash deck for my dropping bombs last week.
I've been hooked on Phonics.
We'll be seeing it.
Thing.
No. That's too much reading. No.
Can't have Corey giving us correct card names.
Exactly.
That would just be anarchy.
That would be just hell freezing over here. But no, this deck has been making a lot of waves, and I think this is going to be one of the pillars of the tier 1 decks moving forward. I just think Rewind is proving to just be an incredibly good Magic card, and Lawfully Denial is also kind of just that sleeper card that makes the deck really, really good, mostly because when you counter something on 2, the Force Spike effect, and when I say Force Spike, just counter unless you pay 1, effect is usually good enough. And then there's so many things that work well with it. Brazen Borrower, Shark Typhoon, Spectral Sailor, that you can play pretty early, even Gilded Goose, to make it just even better than Mana Leak.
Yeah. No, I've been talking about Lofty Denial for a while now. I actually wrote about the card this week in Pioneer. That article should be up right now. Though I haven't checked the website.
But don't go right now.
Yeah, you can do that after the show.
Versus Live now.
Yeah. Card, I think, is just very good. And the main difference that I see between Lofty Denial and similar cards that have been seen play, like Wizard's Retort and Lookout's Dispersal.
Okay.
Those cards, the payoff for having, meeting the condition, whether it was having a creature of a certain type or here having a flyer.
Yeah.
That payoff for the first 2 was it going from 3 mana to 2 mana.
Yeah.
So it was always a powered up counter spell, but you needed it at the right mana cost. Here, the payoff is like making it better, but it still always costs 2. And I think that gives it a significantly higher floor than those 2, because at 2 mana on turn 2, which is when you're least likely to have the flyer, you only have a few 1 mana flyers in most of these decks.
Yeah.
The Force Spike is probably good enough.
Yeah.
Like people are tapping out on their turn 2 and turn 3.
Yeah. And if they're not, if the Bant deck is going Growth Spiral on turn 3 instead of Teferi, you're just like, okay,
you're
now
pretty happy.
now I'll play my flyer, and the next turn I can counter anything. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think this card is significantly better than both of those. There are plenty of good flyers, like all the ones you mentioned, to turn it on. So I'm excited to try this card not only in Standard but in Pioneer. So I'm not surprised to see it here. I think it works really well. It's if you get Nissa into this deck, which I know before we went live is a card that you've been talking about a lot.
Yep. I think I just want to touch on that while we bring it up. I think Nissa in this deck adds a level of complexity for the deck. Not only just a powerful planeswalker that can be aggressive, but being able to help out Rewind. You can tap 2 forests, 2 breeding pools, which is 8 mana. When you have Nissa out, Rewind, untap those 4 mana. Now you've netted 4 mana, and then you can put it into a Giant Shark Typhoon, or just cast a Nightpack Ambusher and have more counter spells back up. And then not only that, shifting Ceratops is a big problem for this deck post-board, or main deck if you're like a Gruul deck that's really trying to target a metagame. I mean, Simic's everywhere. It's not even that crazy. That card's just really tough to deal with if you just only can play Ambusher, get a Wolf, and then hope to double block, hope they don't blow you out. That's a problem. But if you can Nissa, that 5-power creature attacking to Nissa, you're like, okay, goes to 1, make another green elemental, all of a sudden you have 2 elementals. It just lines up really well against the best card against you.
Yeah, and we've seen it work so well with 2 mana counter spells of various stripes. When you get to untap that breeding pool, Lofty Denial is a great one. That can protect you from a wide range of stuff, whether it's Ugin the Spirit Dragon that's really popular, or Hydroid Krasis, or even like a Teferi, and any of those things you can counter unless they pay 4. So I think it works really well in this deck. I'm with you. I think this will be popular and successful this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's why we're playing it today.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Lawfully Denial with Nissa breeding pool, Lawfully Denial. Name a better trio.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash are pretty good.
I don't know that old reference.
We're a band.
What about Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young?
Yeah, he was only the band for a while.
Okay, fair enough. Anyways, I'm going to be playing an Izzet. What is this? Is it Prowess? Is that what we're calling it? Is it?
I think
it's not Izzet Phoenix. Is it Prowess? Okay, so that makes sense. We have no Prowess. But,
literally 0 cards with the word Prowess on it.
Yeah, I would say it's just Izzet Tempo. We're an Izzet Tempo deck.
Cedric hates calling things Tempo.
All complaints to at Cedric A. Phillips and at Shane Serrani.
But we have a deck called Paw Blade coming up later, but we can't slap in Izzet Tempo? Nice.
Yeah, for some reason, Cedric just doesn't like calling things Tempo decks.
Okay.
It is a nebulous term that a lot of people don't understand very well, and has never been well defined by the Magic community at large.
Yeah.
We just use the word, and people have their own personal understandings of it. But
yeah, that's fair. Even people just calling decks Dredge in Standard, where it's like, well, there hasn't been a Dredge card printed forever, but it's just graveyard based. It's like, that's just silly. But anyways, I'm going to be playing an Izzet Prowess deck here from VTCLA, Baker Mayfield. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Wait. Was it Mayfield or Manfield? But I don't think it was Seth's last name. So
yeah, the Stormwing has Prowess, right? So you do have a Prowess creature.
Oh, that's true. All right. Well, we're idiots.
Hang on our face. There's 2 Stormwings entities in it.
Let's go. But this is a deck that VTCLA posted and top-aided one of the Standard Challenge, one of the actual first Standard events. Nothing crazy we learned from those challenge, but this was one of the new decks that popped up. And I'm always a huge fan of Baker's deck lists, so I wanted to give it a shot. I haven't played it yet, but it seems like everything you wanted to be doing in a deck, so I, of course, dibsed it first just to kind of get the rub-ins in a little bit,
But I have worn my Izzet shirt to counteract your Izzet deck.
Oh, God. Next level metagaming right there.
Had a stroke of genius this morning.
I like it. Okay, well, without any further ado, shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, the marbles remained on my side. I guess you got it one of the days last week, huh?
Yeah, you stole them back.
Yes, excellent. So you're going to be on the play. Ooh.
I am going to keep this hand.
Mulliganing with this deck is really bad. Well, I could just say that with every deck. Mulliganing with every deck is pretty bad. But we don't have any Sprite Dragon. We don't have any Terramander. This is a hand that's just going to get picked apart by late counter spells. So I'm going to ship that back. You'd mulligan that, right?
Yeah.
Seems pretty weak.
I would think about it with a second blue source instead of 3 mana.
Yeah, because you can only cast Crash through, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was 4 lands and I could cast all my spells, I think I probably would. But even that, I think it was would be a trap, you know, probably keep and lose.
Yeah, I would not be excited about that.
Yeah, I really want Terramander, Sprite Dragons to get the game going early.
Yeah, this is not a deck that wants to be playing from behind.
No. Neither is yours. We are 2 decks that want to just be going ahead.
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. This deck checks a lot more of the boxes. I think Scorching Dragonfire is pretty close to dead, so we're going to put that on the bottom.
Okay, is land.
Is land done?
Yep.
Well, I think I am going to play a Terramander.
I will play a Mystical Dispute.
Got him. All right, your go.
I did, in fact, get him.
Not knowing what you're playing, Corey, you're more likely to keep the Dragonfire.
Probably, yeah.
Pass the turn.
But the thing is, like, Team Erect, Bant. Actually, I probably would still ship it. Team Erect, Bant are probably going to be like 45% of the metagame for this tournament. And that's like my step number 1 in deciding a deck. Like, can I stand against those? And therefore, when you play against something, you know, if those are the 2 most popular decks, that card's pretty bad against both of them. So I would probably ship that anyways. Let's go with the Scary Terry again.
I will respond with a Growth Spiral.
All right.
Put in a temple.
Okay. And then I'll pass to you.
Scry goes to the bottom. If I'd hit another dispute, it would have been nice.
That would have been nice, yeah. Our Terramander is very far away from being good, though, right now. Especially this mana base isn't great, too. Not a great start for us. Mulliganing is pretty rough with this deck. All right, 4 mana is that scary point where there's just so many spells that I have to be afraid of. Rewind, Ambusher, Frilled Mystic if you play it. Probably don't play that one, but...
Yeah, it's kind of weird that, like, when the Simic Flash deck first appeared, Frilled Mystic was kind of the big payoff, and now it's just not a part of the deck.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Well, not great there, but I'll attack.
19.
All right. Yeah, none of these options are really good right now. So I think I'm just going to say go. Play this one slow. No land drops, unfortunate.
I, too, will play it slow.
Oh.
Pass the turn.
Inventory.
Yep.
Cycle. Okay. I'm going to take 2.
18 and 19.
I will attack for 1.
18 to 18.
Okay. I'm going to say go again.
On your end step, I will cast a Growth Spiral.
All right.
I'll put a Breeding Pool on the battlefield.
Okie dokie.
Play a Temple of Mystery.
Okay.
Scry to the bottom.
Okay.
You're up.
Brazen Bar.
Rewind.
Rewind.
I guess I can tap the basics and then untap the Temple.
Wow, you got me. You got me, buddy. All right, how much mana you got open? A ton?
6.
All right. I'm going to start with an opt.
That's fine.
I think I want this land. I'll attack.
17.
All right. Then I will play Entity.
Sure.
Stormwing Entity, our new card here.
Scry 2.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, that card's pretty good.
That card is pretty good. So Thrill of Possibility against a flash deck is not very good. Just an easy way to get 2 for 1. So I'm going to put that to the bottom, but the other card was good, and I'll pass to you.
Okay, I'm going to bounce the Entity.
Bounce the Entity.
And then play Borrower.
And play Borrower. Okay, I think I'll shock it while you're tapped out. Looks like you might be flooding a bit.
You're up.
Okay. Beatdowns.
16.
All right. Well, only one card, so we're definitely just in jam mode, so I'll play Crackles. Okay. Your go. Now we know the coast is clear, but I mean, just Shark Typhoon or something like that is going to be excellent. And
That was the best possible.
uh-oh. Oh, that's pretty good.
I'll go to 19.
Wow.
And then, let's escape it.
Yeah.
Don't think it matters which ones I exile.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Let's go to 22.
Okay.
And you're up.
All right. Not cool.
Well, I was flooded.
But now you're just sitting fine.
Yeah, but then I drew an arrow. Funny how that works.
Funny how that works.
Man,
Well, all of a sudden I'm dead.
I keep hearing people tell me how good this card is. I guess they're right.
Yeah, I guess they are. Wow, and I just don't really have a good turn here. God, that feels bad. Yeah, that card's gonna rip me to shreds.
It's a 7 mana 6/6 that drew 2 cards, gained 6 life, and is threatening to keep doing that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Also drew 2 spells.
This card's not very good anyways. It would have been good if I didn't play Crackling Drake before. God, I'm just playing it just to get this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
I thought this was just a double Dragon
Oh,
Fire.
that'd be great. That resolves, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess, and then I'll attack.
You got 4 spells in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Spectral Sailor.
Yep.
All right. Your go.
I'm going to be drawing enough cards of this Uro.
Yeah.
Attack, go to 25.
Okay. I will take it. Go to 14.
To 12, right? You shocked at one point?
I probably did. 12 to 25?
Yep.
Okay.
Pass the turn. And I put a land into play.
Okay.
Still 2 cards in hand.
Okay. Let's go with Sprite Dragon.
Sure.
Frantic Inventory.
For 2?
Yep.
That's good.
Okay. Oh, boy. Here's the point where I have to just ask myself a question. Can I even win if you have Shark Typhoon? And you get to those points where it's like, yeah, playing around a card is good at times, but at certain times it's just, if you have it, I can't win, and that's one of them, so.
Okay, so what if I have 2 Shark Typhoons?
Well, if you just cycle them for 0 each, then not bad, but yeah, you got it.
How about I cycle it for a 7/7?
Yeah, that seems good. But just look at this game. Think if you just ever had a Nissa. Like, it would just be such an unbeatable card. You know, obviously every game is contextual, but I just always look at the games and I'm like, God, if Nissa was just in that deck, it just seems like it would be so punishing. It'd be like the card I'm always not wanting to play against, you know? Or not wanting to see across on their turns.
But, yeah, I mean, that game, it's easy. Basically, any powerful card, like Hydroid Krasis would have been great that game.
Yeah.
I flooded early.
Yeah.
And then I drew the one best possible threat.
Yeah.
And Uro completely won the game by itself.
Yeah. Uro does that. I know you never play that card, but
I know.
Yeah.
It's kind of unreal.
It's pretty good.
I drew so many cards. I gained so much life. I attacked for so much damage. It did everything.
You're just getting just getting to this point now, huh?
You think if I asked, it would get me a date to the prom?
Probably not. It's not that good. All right. Well, now that we do have some more established decks, I think it's time that we start focusing on sideboard a little bit more. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back with sideboarding here on Versus Live. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Versus Live. We are sideboarding here with Izzet Tempo up against Simic Flash. For me, just red removal is not very good. I mean, you have like Goose that I can shock, or like Brazen Bar, or Small Sharks or something like that, but it's not really worth it. Normally, you had to keep in shock because it was like that 1 mana spell to bring back Arclight Arclight Phoenixes, but that's not that important anymore since, well, we don't have Arclight Phoenix. So, but it's just it's a very obviously effective spell that you want against anything aggro where it has a good target. But up against the top decks, Team of Reclamation and Bant Ramp, it's just not really a card that you want. So that does make it seem that maybe this should actually be a sideboard card. If you're really trying to metagame, but.
It does have some targets in this matchup.
Yeah.
Spectral Sailor, Gilded Goose, Brazen Borrower, all targets for shock. So it could be effective here, but I agree, like against Teamer and Bant, not very good.
Yeah, exactly. And then taking out the Dragonfires would have been excellent if I would have just held open and didn't play Crackling Drake there to Dragonfire your Uro when it comes into play. Then you only get the one trigger and it still exiles. But I definitely tapped out for Crackling Drake.
That's a neat trick.
Yep. I know you haven't played Uro a lot, but that's the only thing you can really do to stop at game one in like the Team of Wreck Mirror or something like that. But then I'm just bringing in, the best counter spell, best sideboard card in Standard still, and still will continue to be so with into M21. 3 disputes, 2 negates, and only 2 out of my 4 gusts, because that's another thing, and I have been preaching this lesson for the last 3 months, is playing a deck that makes it hard to sideboard against. And with all these sideboard cards like Gust, Dragonfire, Mystical Dispute, all these things that target a specific color or 2 colors, being able to play a deck that, only gets hit by half. Gust only hits like half of your things, really makes it so sideboarding against you is really tough. And if you draw just like an awkward set of too many gusts or not enough gusts, then you can just really fall behind pretty quickly.
Yeah, so really finding that balance is tough. And even if you find the correct balance, it still doesn't leave you in a great position because it increases the natural variance, like you mentioned. So it might be true that 2 gusts is the correct number to have, but it's still less effective than playing against a deck where gust is always good and you just bring in the 4.
Yeah, or exactly. Or if I was like, I really wanted an answer for both Ambusher, decently sized sharks, and Spectral Sailor, obviously not the color, but Grasp of Darkness is something that could kill all of them, but you don't really have that kind of unconditional removal spell in these colors right now. And then that's what makes it hard to sideboard against the deck, and that's why that deck is good.
Yep. Yeah. And I had a similar debate on my side as to how good my Ether Gusts were, and I decided they're not very good at all. So I'm bringing out the 2 that are in the main, loading up on Mystical Disputes. Much like my deck is nearly mono blue, sort of splashing green, really. There's 12 green cards, I think. Your deck is not playing a lot of red cards, or at least a lot of the red cards you're playing I don't care about, and you have recognized aren't particularly good in the matchup as well. When it comes to your threats, it's Sprite Dragon and it's Crackling Drake, right? And Sprite Dragon can be a good thing to gust to get some counters on it, but that's about it.
Yeah,
and if that's all it's really targeting, not a very good card. I'd rather just dispute that turn 2 Sprite Dragon when I'm on the draw anyway.
Much better actually dealing with it. But for instance, if you had Nissa, like I want to put in that deck, being transparent, that's the deck where I want to start for testing this weekend because I think it's great. But if you had Nissa, I would be forced to play 4 Gust because I just can't beat that card, or at least it's really tough. So it's really tough, and that just makes Magic so great. Sideboarding is very challenging almost all the time. So
it's one of the consequences of the way they've started designing removal spells, where it used to be like back in the day there were just certain removal spells that were way better and you always played those.
Vraska's Contempt.
I mean, even I'm talking years and years ago.
But that was like the last unconditional removal spell
and even Contempt didn't see a lot of play for a while. Like the second year it was in Standard, I think the format was just too fast for it. But now they usually, if you look over a year or 2 of a Standard format's evolution, you will see a huge range of different removal spells that see play at different times. Because it's all so contextual. So that's kind of one of the really big pieces of the dynamic nature of Standard is, these are the removal spells we're playing right now, so let's play threats that match up well against them. Well, now we have to change our removal to be good against those threats. Now we have to change our threats to be good against that removal, and it never ends.
I think Brad said it best on Donald's Twitter. He just said Standard is all about maximizing your interaction and minimizing your opponent's interaction. And I was just like, whoa. That's so true, you know? And yeah, I mean, the last time we saw, I guess, the last really good unconditional removal spell that saw like a ton of play was like Unlicensed Disintegration in red-black. But even that, it wasn't played all the time because you played against Azorius and it was a dead card, you know? So yeah, it's a tough one. Magic's hard. I think that's the lesson we want to get across.
It is a difficult game.
All right, Rob, do you got one question for us while we get started?
Yeah, Uber wants to know, do you think Mystical Dispute is too good?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's been the best sideboard card for so long. 1 mana counter spells are just absurd. And honestly, it's annoying to play against. So yeah, I do think that card it's like on Veil level, you know?
The thing I hate the
quite,
most about it is that it is enough better than the other options when you're trying to counter opposing counter spells, like, you know, Dispel, Negate, all those, that it sees widespread play, and then that in turn suppresses aggressive blue decks, because Mystical Dispute is unbelievable against them because it can counter their threats and their counter spells, and is so efficient, and those decks are always trying to get ahead. So it's done a good job at suppressing those kinds of strategies, which I very much enjoy. And you can say that, like, yeah, you get to play your own disputes, but like their disputes are better than yours.
Exactly. And I mean, honestly, when you have the best sideboard card in blue, and you have like the best blue card, which is like Growth Spiral right now, you know, like you're destined to see what we're seeing right now, just blue green decks being dominant, you know, in 3 different iterations as the top 3 decks. They just have way too many tools right now, and they're supposed to have Veil and Oko and stuff too. It's just like, dang, you know, blue green was really supposed to just be insanely overpowered once upon a time. Like,
yeah, already right now we have like 4 different, or 2 or 3 different, you know, base Simic decks that all play a ton of different cards, and there's like 4 Simic cards that are banned. And what would these decks have even looked like if we got to play Once Upon a Time and Oko too?
God, I don't even know anymore. It wouldn't be a world I want to live in, I don't think.
Let's stop thinking about it.
Agreed. Okay, let's get back to the game. I'm on the play. Obviously, one glaring problem here, but I think we can get around it decently. So
no lands.
0. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll keep.
Here you go. I'll take 2. I'm going to opt right away.
Okay.
I'll bottom this.
Playing around Dispute here.
Yep.
So that tells me that Corey really wanted to resolve that opt, which probably means he's land light.
No, I wouldn't do that. Okay. Pass
also light on a Steam Vents, which means he doesn't have an island. Well,
what do you know?
I will lead on a Temple of Mystery.
Okay.
And let's leave that one on top.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with a Crash Through. Here we go. Keeping the 1-lander with opt. I still stand by it, but yeah, there was a fail rate.
I am going to play around Dispute by Spiraling Mane.
Okay.
And then I will shock in this Breeding Pool and play a Spectral Sailor.
All right.
So I am at 18, you're at 18.
Okay, at least we got it now. This would have been so much better last turn, but we'll get this Sprite Dragon down and pass to you.
Attack for 1.
Okay, no blocks. 17.
You can go. I'm going to sack this on my turn.
Okay.
Get an island.
Okay. All right. Now, what do we want to do? We could just try to progress our battlefield a little bit here. I think that seems a little aggressive, personally. I think it's tough. All right, let's crash through. Okay, and declare attacks. Okay, take
16.
2, and pass to you.
On your end step, I will play a Nightpack Ambusher.
All right, I'll gust that. Okay.
5 in hand?
Yeah. Then you're go.
Attack for 1.
Yep.
Here, 16 all.
Yep.
You can go.
Alrighty. Well, I know we have a Nightpack Ambusher to deal with, so we gotta make sure we can have something to deal with it. So I think that leads to just an attack.
13.
Okay, I'll play a Temple and have an Epiphany. I think this card is actually quite strong right now, so I'll keep that and I'll pass to you.
On your end step, I'm going to make a 2/2 shark.
2/2 Shark. Okay.
Presumably Corey has something prepared for the ambusher.
All of the preparedness. That's like a pre-K shark. Not quite a baby shark, but starting to see some life.
Attack for 3.
Okay.
It's in its terrible 2s.
13, yeah.
13 all.
That shark is definitely teething.
Yeah, pass the turn.
All right. End step inventory.
For 1?
Yep.
It's fine.
All right. Untap. No land I still like from you over there. Let's play a land. Actually, might want to play a different land. Sprite Dragon? Oh, I guess I gotta play this first. Take 2. 11.
I will attempt to rewind the Sprite Dragon.
I'll dispute that.
Okay.
All right. Sprite Dragon resolves. I'll attack for 6.
I go to 7.
And I'll play Scary Terry and pass to you. Did my math a little wrong there. I thought that I could counter, play Terry, and then adapt, but I was 1 off, so that was maybe not the most ideal turn. Still a solid turn, of course. Now we're getting to the point of the game that I just do not care about that Ambusher anymore. I'm more worried about Shark Typhoons, Brazen Borrowers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I screwed up. I should have cycled for the shark the turn I played ambusher, but I should have ambushed the turn I cycled for the shark.
I think
both instances I was wrong.
I think the big play that I was really afraid of is just you playing Nightpack Ambusher when I was just tapped out. Like,
I mean, then you just got to gust it still.
Oh, I guess I did have the gust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, the turn after, like gust it, you just untap, play it again. That was what I was really afraid of. But
yeah.
Obviously it could have went wrong, but just contextually to my hand, you know. That's not to say that you made a misplay. That's just contextually, if we can look at the game, with perfect information, that was the turning point where it looked really scary.
You have 5 spells in there? Or 6?
6. Terramander adapts for 2.
Yep. Okay, I will pass the turn.
Okay. It's an interesting one. I think I just want to attack with just my big creatures here, or, the one that can become big, and see what you do. Just those 2.
You have 2 in hand now?
2 in hand, Mr. Merriam.
unblock the Pteramander.
I'll attempt to adapt.
I will bounce the Pteramander.
Okay. And you're at 7?
Yep.
In response, I will frantic inventory. This one's for 2.
Bounce the big Sprite Dragon.
Okay.
That's bounced. You draw 2.
Yep. 1, 2. Then this is bounced. Oops, this isn't killed. This is just bounced. Okay. That was a rough turn. And I did play my land.
You did.
So we're just going to play and adapt right away. I guess, is there a reason to adapt? I guess no, there's definitely no real point in doing it right now, so I'll pass to you.
God. Pass the turn.
I'll adapt.
Yep.
Okay. Let's attempt to play Sprite Dragon.
Rewind.
In response, I'll opt.
Yep.
Bottom that island. Draw. Yep. Been rewinded. 3. I will just attack with Scary Terry.
Chop.
Okay. Second main. Crackling Drake. Yep.
Can't let that one resolve.
Yeah. All right, past you.
Really wanted to not ambush that turn, but
Yeah.
guess we'll spiral too.
Okay.
There's just lands that we needed for quite a while.
Right on time.
Yep.
All right, 2 cards. One's an ambusher.
You have 2 in hand?
2 in hand. Yep.
Bounce the Sprite Dragon.
Okay.
Attack for 2.
Okay.
Go to 9.
9.
Play a Borrower.
Okay.
You can go.
All right.
Might be dead.
Aggressive line. Not dead, but dang, that was a lucky draw. When you have 2 lands and then you draw a thrill. All right, so Sprite Dragon, Thrill, draw 2. All right, I guess you are dead. Bounce, get you.
I kept drawing growth spirals when I needed lands.
Yeah.
And I was stuck on 4, but that's incredible. You missed your second land drop. And then the game just turned so quickly. I guess the one judgment call of not slamming the ambusher.
Yeah.
Probably what cost me.
In hindsight, it definitely is, but like if I just had if I had Brazen Bar or the other Gust, then it's pretty bad because I can go like Sprite Dragon Gust, and now I've out-tempoed you. So it's definitely, it's not a pun. It's just a judgment call.
But I think I either have to cycle the shark before I play Ambusher if I'm going to try to play around those cards, or if I've decided once I play the Ambusher that I'm not playing around those cards, I just keep jamming and make you have more of them.
True. Or God forbid if I had Beacon Bolt, then you just get racked.
Yeah.
But
whereas the line that I made let you get max value out of your 1 Gust and then made an irrelevant 2/2 as a result.
Yeah.
Whereas if I make the 2/2 a turn earlier, I can maybe force some other action out of you, or at least make your mana worse.
Yeah.
And then But so I just took this like weird middle way line where I went between both lines, and it just doesn't make sense to do that.
And it's tough to keep an ambusher on top when you don't have a fifth land. You know, I don't know if it's right. I didn't know your hand or anything.
Yeah, that too. If I'm not going to play the ambusher next turn, I might as well bottom it.
Yeah. And also, why doesn't this deck play Blitz of the Thunder or whatever? You know, isn't that wouldn't that card be like pretty good as a unconditional removal spell?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I could see playing it instead of Dragonfire
or Beacon Bolt. I think Dragonfire is good. I think that card is pretty necessary because that Dragonfire is the only early 2-mana removal spell. Blitz is not a 2-mana removal spell, but it can take down Nissas. It can take down Uros. It can exile Uro and stuff.
Yeah. The nice thing with Beacon Bolt is that it gives you 2 removal spells late.
Yeah.
Like all of these decks that play lots of cantrips do tend to flood. So jumpstart cards are nice flood insurance.
Oh yeah.
But
Beacon Bolt against like mono green or something is just like
It would be nice to have a big spell that went up for Planeswalkers though to like kill Nissas and even Ugins. That get big. So yeah, that's a card I would definitely explore in this deck.
Yeah, I think that seems like a very much include. Like I think it's better than Shock. Like Even in the main, like maybe 2 and 2 or something, but it just seems like a better card to me. But what do I know? I'm not VTCLA. I'm just a lonely scrub.
The thing with Shock is that, there are a lot of matchups where it's not very good, but in the matchups where it's good, it is unbelievably good. It's the best card in your entire deck.
Yeah.
So
when you need to kill like priests and stuff like that and stuff. But then you play like Mayhem Devil, and then you're like, God, this Shock really sucks compared, So it's tough, and that's why these Izzet decks haven't succeeded, because you always have to go in so many different ways right now. It doesn't have one cohesive game plan. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. I like the feel of this deck.
Ready for game 3?
I'm ready for game 3. But first, I'd like a question. Have you got one there, Rob?
Yeah, Spikey 17 has a head scratcher maybe. Who would win in a fight? 1 Godzilla-sized Sprite Dragon or 100 Sprite Dragon-sized Godzillas?
Whoa.
Godzilla's really big.
Yeah. I gotta say the giant one. I mean, you just get to slap away a bunch of little Sprite Dragons, right?
So, how many?
They would be Godzillas, though.
How many Sprite Dragon-sized Godzillas?
100.
100 of them?
Is it a 100 Sprite Dragon?
Well, so if it's Sprite Dragon-sized, it's a 1/1. But if it's Godzilla-sized, we have Godzilla. It's like a 7/5, right?
Yeah.
It's that Gruul card. So you're talking about 100 1/1s against a 7/5, so it's the 100.
Yeah, easy. Okay, yeah. Good point.
With 93 left over. We've resolved combat.
That is a head scratcher right there. Great question. All right, let's get back into it. You will be on the play, I imagine.
Indeed, I will.
Ugh. Hands like this, I feel like I can't mulligan, but I can't win as well.
I will keep my hand.
I think I'm going to keep it, but it could be it could go south for me.
Island, pass.
Okay. All right, I'm going to crash through. Here you go.
Excellent choice, sir.
Thank you.
Forest, pass.
Okay. I'm going to take 2. Go to 18 and pass to you.
I will cast a Growth Spiral.
You got it.
Let's put in a breeding pool.
All right, I think while you're tapped still, I really don't want to get this countered, so I'm going to thrill now, and then go ahead. Okay.
You're up.
Okay.
Let's get this down while you're tapped out.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty good. All right, let's play everyone's favorite pet and attack for 1.
I'm a 19.
Here go.
Attack for 4.
Okay, I'll take it.
Go to my end step, get a wolf.
Yep.
You're up. So you're at 14.
Yeah, here's the situations. Just jamming them is sometimes just unbeatable, and I think this is going to be a situation. Oh, God.
Is it going to be the situation, though?
I guess so.
That would require more abs and tanner skin.
Yes. Good Jersey Shore reference.
Very topical humor.
Yeah.
I'll attack. Okay.
18.
Your go.
End step, I'll play another ambusher.
Dispute?
I will dispute your dispute.
GG's. Both sides fought hard.
I had a a rewind for that turn too?
Oh God!
I thought you were going to be like, play a spell, like rewind that, dispute that, untap, ambusher.
The thing
do
is,
everything.
I guess I had to just dispute Growth Spiral, but then like all I have is negate and 2 thrills. Like I think I just had to hope you didn't have ambusher or you didn't go for it, you know. And sadly, me telling you, hey, you probably should have went for this last game. That's why you don't help out your opponents when you're in a competitive tournament. But maybe it's not the same.
My hand was like dispute Growth Spiral Nightpack Ambusher.
Oh God!
Tapping out was so easy there because when I tapped out on turn 4 for turn 3 for it.
Yeah.
The rest of my hand was 5th land, dispute, 2nd ambusher.
Yeah.
If you deal with the first one, I just get to play a 2nd one with a dispute up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not winning there. I mean, and honestly, like one of the sickest draws that you can do in Standard is now because of a new M21 card. Just Growth Spiral on 2, on turn 4, rewind plus Nightpack Ambusher. The amount of times that I do that sequence, especially when I'm on the play, I think like it's like 92% chance I'm going to win or something absurd. Like I just destroy people whenever I did that.
It's an incredible line to have available. And, you know, when you think about a tempo mirror, which is essentially what we're playing, where both decks try to get ahead and then press that advantage. They have enough disruption to just keep their opponent at bay long enough for their early threats to win. Typically, you see those decks operate with a very low curve, and that's what the Izzet deck is doing. It's very traditional in that sense. The Simic deck is doing it a little bit differently, and that's why Growth Spiral is so key in it, because your curve's a little bit higher, your cards are a little bit more powerful individually, which helps out. It means that even if your game doesn't go all the way according to plan, your cards can still stand on their own a little bit better. But you do have those really great tempo draws. They just all start with Growth Spiral.
Oh yeah. Well, Growth Spiral is just like the best card in Standard right now. And I mean, honestly, that's why I like decks like that more than decks like this, because mulliganing with decks like this is usually very, very bad. Like you mulligan to 5, both sides, you know, against other matchups or something, you're going to lose so much more often with this deck because you need a ton of resources there, because what you said, the power level of the cards, you can just have 3 lands, Growth Spiral, Nightpack Ambusher, draw into a land, and you still might be fine, you know, like, so, yeah. But honestly, think about one last thing about this deck, and then we'll head to round 2. That kind of draw there where you play Nightpack Ambusher, and then I'm like, okay, well, now I have to deal with it on my turn, and then the door is just open for the next turn. If you ever just slam Nissa, the game is over. So that's why I'm all about the inclusion of like 3 Nissas into this deck, and cutting some of the, you know, maybe like a Lofty Denial, maybe a little bit of the blue counter spells, but
because when you're tapping up for Nissa, you just can't hold up counters as well.
Exactly. Yeah. But
I could definitely see that if you want to go that way, it makes sense. And this deck can even, because of the couple Gilded Geese that are in the deck that help out Lofty Denial, that extra bit of ramp does leave you the possibility of turn 3ing Nissa.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just have Goose into Spiral and the classic draw. I see you on 3, untap my Breeding Pool, Lofty Denial your spell.
GG.
I have Goose in play, so it's a mana leak.
Or even just Nissa untap just an island and having Dispute open in some matchups is just GG as well. You know, so I really think kind of like the Simic Flash deck that like Brad, Seth, Javier played at that Mythic Championship. I think it just should be closely related to that. And I think it should be Team of Wreck. But anyways, that's a deck that I really love and I'm looking forward to testing for this weekend. But next round, I'm going to be round 2. I'm going to be playing a deck that I already love. I know I love this deck. It's my Azorius Blink deck that I did my dropping bombs on last weekend. Just one of my favorite decks. What do you got up against?
Going to be up against one of the boogeymen of the format. This is Bant Ramp going up to Ugin.
All right.
The deck that I think is probably getting the most hype right now. You know, everybody knows about Wilderness Reclamation. We don't need to talk about it that much.
Yeah.
But the Bant deck is new. It's the best home so far that people have found for Ugin.
Yep.
And I think it's pretty clear that Ugin is going to be a player.
Yeah, and I mean, Bant is so good because it has a good Team of Reclamation matchup. And if you're trying to get into a competitive scene, step number 1 is you look at a deck and be like, okay, can I beat the best deck? If it's like abysmally bad, you probably don't want to play it unless you beat every other deck. Kind of like the Orzhov Doom Foretold list. That's exactly was its matchup. It had a bad matchup against the best deck, but it crushed everything else. So if you metagame the best deck declining a little bit, it's going to be a great deck. But Bant just has a good variety of matchups against everything. It's like medium-ish against everything, and then beats Team of Reclamation. So it's just kind of that middle ground where you can feel like you can beat anything, but except Azorius Blink.
Well, we will certainly see that.
We will find out. So Ross is up 1-0. We are going to take a short 5-minute break, and we'll be right back with round number 2 here on Versus Live.